Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. I'm sure that's a saying that we've all heard once before, meaning that men and women are two different species when it comes to communication. Genderlike theory by Deborah Tannen discusses the different ways in which men and women communicate, in which I have found further research that complements Deborah Tannen's theory. And the importance of further researching this theory could lead to better and healthier relationships. First, I'm going to talk to you about genderlike theory, and second, I'm going to talk to you about the further research that matches genderlike theory, and second, the importance of further researching genderlike theory. First, genderlike theory by Deborah Tannen, which means masculine and female styles of discourse, are best viewed as two distinct cultural dialects. In her book, You Just Don't Understand, Deborah Tannen states, men and women are conversations is cross-cultural communication. For example, men seek status and desire for freedom. They tell, can you top this kind of story? When listening, men will men with status ways of listening is I agree with you, and men don't like questions, or they don't like to ask questions because they don't like to ask for help, and they don't mind conflict, therefore less likely to hold themselves in check. But on the other hand, women are different. Women seek connection and intimacy. Women tell stories about others instead of stories about themselves. While listening, women hold eye contact and they react with nods and yes and uh-huh. And when women will ask questions about others, or will just generally ask questions to gain connections towards other people, and women refuse conflict because they don't want to threaten connections. And these differences in communication starts at an early age, in early childhood. Boys and girls, they separate themselves in separate speech communities, which follows them as an adult. So as adults, men and women stay in those separate speech communities, and they continue to have separate ways of communicating. Now that I've talked to you about genderlike theory according to Deborah Tannen, I am now going to discuss further research that connects with genderlike theory. When it comes to conflict, as said before, men don't mind conflict, whereas women try to avoid conflict. So according to a Susan Brinson article, TV fights, women and men in interpersonal arguments on primetime television drama published in Argumentation and Advocacy in fall of '92 states that women are significantly unlikely to engage in physically aggressive acts, whereas men engage in aggressive acts 43% of the time, or 43% of conflicts. Women avoid aggressive acts compared to men, since men don't mind conflict, similarly as Tannen states. In another article, Genderlike and Participation in College English Classroom, published in 2013, states, in the course of past few decades, genderlike issues have become one element in the analysis of classroom discourse. So in this analysis, it compares a lot of Deborah Tannen's theory in her book, and it has found similar findings, such as males in the classroom were more outspoken and competitive, and it was the opposite for females. They were more, when it comes to the class lectures, like they weren't the ones to speak out compared to men. So now that I've told you about the further research I have found that matches to gender-like theory, I am now going to talk to you about the benefits of further researching Tanen's theory. So an important reason to further research Tanen's theory is to have a better understanding of the opposite sex. For example, when it comes to being in a relationship, if a man has a better understanding of the woman and the woman a better understanding of the man, there could be less conflict. The woman would understand why the man does things a certain way, and the woman will the man will understand why women or just want connection or intimacy. So in these last few minutes, I have discussed with you the Deborah Tanen's gender-like theory. Second, further research that connects to gender-like theory. And last, the importance of further researching gender-like theory. And now that we have a better understanding between communication between men and women, and we now have a better understanding why the saying women are from Venus and women are from Venus and men are from Mars. Thank you.